got some catching up to do.
You see, it's not that I haven't wanted to make a video. Oh. Without getting too deep into it, there's a handful of things that happened in my life kinda all at the same time, which meant that I needed to rearrange my priorities a little bit and take a little bit of a break. As they say, life keeps lifing. It's not to say I've been sitting on my hands though. The boxster went off to the body shop. I've always been pretty clear that there were some cosmetic things on the outside that needed doing. I was gonna put it off until next year, but it started to kind of bother me. My trusted body shop had some availability. I had all the parts I needed. I'll talk more about the details of exactly what I had done later on, but in short, some paint work, some body work, and even a change in wheels. I've had some other car stuff going on at the same time too. I had a dealer buyback on a 992 that I bought. I did a full suspension refresh on my 993. And for those of you that follow me on Instagram and have a keen eye, you will have seen that there's something new in the garage. I promise I will talk about that car at some point. But right now I've got a whole bunch of maintenance I need to do on the Boxster, so I'm gonna shuffle some cars around and get it into the garage and get started. Last week I was doing a little bit of routine maintenance. I had the engine bay open and I was replacing my intake filter. And in doing so, I noticed on the crankcase breather tube that goes from the air oil separator into the intake, there was a little bit of sort of oily residue. And upon closer inspection, I realized that that tube was actually cracked. This really got me thinking because I noticed a couple of months ago, the Boxster had started to exhibit sometimes a slightly lumpy idle. This is the kind of thing that probably nobody other than me would ever notice, and it wasn't throwing codes, there was no misfires, there was no vacuum leak codes or anything like that. Obviously, I've already replaced the transmission mount and the engine mount, so I know it wasn't that. I didn't really think much of it. I was already planning on doing my coil packs and my plugs and cleaning my MAF at some point, so I figured if it didn't resolve with that, I would deal with it then. Finding this cracked tube made me think, what if that is the cause of my slightly lumpy idle? Turns out these tubes cracking, especially at this age and this mileage, is not that uncommon. But one thing I noticed when I took the old tube off is that there was a lot of oil in it, which I think is somewhat normal, but again, this is post the air oil separator, so in theory, everything that's going into the intake should be pretty clean. In typical while you're in there fashion, I thought, well, this is good enough reason for me to replace my air oil separator. I know these are kind of wear items anyway, and I don't have any record of it being done on this car, and I'm at almost 100,000 miles, so it's probably time to do it. So I'm gonna replace that today, and while I'm in there, I'm also gonna do plugs and coils. Never a project like this without taking a trip to the auto parts store. I'm gonna save you a bunch of headaches if you're doing this yourself. It's very tight quarters in there getting to the two bolts that hold the AOS onto the engine. It is held on with E-Torx, an E10. Now, I have an E-Torx set, and this is my E10, but this is a 3/8 drive. And because of the size of it, it doesn't fit on the most inward bolt. Let me grab the AOS so you can see what I mean. This is the AOS. This is the new one. It sits in the engine like this. This is the sort of rearmost e-Torx bolt. Again, this is sort of facing the back of the car. You can see there's these kind of shoulders around the bolt itself. And if you take a 3/8 inch drive e-Torx, it doesn't fit. It's too big. Again, it's super tight quarters in there too, so you can't really see what you're doing. All you know is that it's not grabbing. I'm sort of jealous of you Cayman people. You have a little bit more access and a little bit more visibility, but on a Boxster, you really can't see what you're doing. You're kind of going by feel. So I needed a 1/4 inch drive E10 e-Torx to get to that bolt. Not that easy to find, but thankfully my auto parts store had a set of deep well 1/4 inch drive e-Torx. So this should do it. Fingers crossed. This was one of those projects that about halfway through I thought, shit. I don't know how I can get this thing out, and I also don't know how I can get it back in. So it felt a little bit like I was up at creek. I got it out though. Not easy. Again, if you're a Cayman person, you've got a little bit more room to work in there. But Boxsters, it's tight. And you don't have a lot of angles and you don't have a lot of visibility, but I got it out. It really only fits in one way, and then you have to sort of rotate it 2 or 3 times into position. And so doing that in reverse, having never done it before, is pretty challenging. Anyway, it's out, so I'm gonna go ahead and replace it. I don't know how to tell if it's bad or not. I can say that the outlet here that goes to the breather tube that goes into the intake, there's quite a lot of oil in it. I think some is normal, but what amount is normal or not, I don't know. So it's difficult for me to say if this is truly worn out or not, but we'll get the new one installed and see how it runs. Put a little bit of motor oil on these O-rings to just help them seat a little bit better. I'm not sure that I'm properly illustrating how difficult this was. I don't even really have any advice for how to do it other than it's going to fit. It's just going to take a long time and a lot of cursing and a lot of frustration. It will fit. Just be patient. Wow, that was hard though.
Ain't alright, the hardness of my head. Now close your eyes, spin around, say, hard time you could find, but ain't the way that you want. But it's still alright. Late at night, you lay around wondering, counting all the lines. It's so funny now, say times are hard to get this far, but it ain't the way that you want. I'll be damned if this old man don't start to count his losses. But it's still alright. See you learn a lot out there, how to scorch and burn. Only have to bury your friends, and then you find it gets worse. Standing out on a ledge with no way to get down, start praying for wings to grow. Oh baby, just let go. Spinning out ahead, it was cold outside when I hit the ground. Say I could sleep here, forget all the fear. It would take time to grow. Maybe I don't know. 89. You think about it. Remembering all the times that you pointed out, say glass is clear, but all this fear starts to leaving a mark. Idle hands are all that stands from your time in the dark. But it's still alright.
A quick note about these wheels. I actually bought these when I had my last Boxster last year. Never ended up using them because they were kind of in rough shape. But it's winter in Tennessee now, which means the temperatures are a little too cold for comfort on summer tires. So I thought I'd have them refinished and put all-season tires on them and keep driving the car throughout the winter. I still have my Apex SM10s, and they will go back on in the spring. But for now, I think these look great. I really like them. And yes, the kind folks at Discount Tire didn't line up the Porsche crest with the valve stem properly, so I'm just gonna fix that up. As this year comes to a close, I, of course, have been reflecting a bit on why I started doing all this in the first place. Really, it started as just a desire to be present in something. To get my hands dirty with tools scattered all around the garage in the pursuit of making something better. There's a peacefulness that lives in those moments. It dawned on me recently, though, that 2 years ago, I knew almost nothing about working on cars, and certainly was wildly intimidated by the concept of working on Porsches. But what then felt impossible now is exciting. I approach problems with a confidence that I never thought I'd have, trusting that I can learn and adapt and figure things out. And that's growth.
Moving me down the highway, rolling me down the highway, moving ahead so life won't pass me by. Like a north wind whistling down the sky, I've got a song, I've got a song. Like the whippoorwill and the babies cry, I've got a song, I've got a song. And I carry it with me and I sing.
The satisfaction that comes from learning something hard and recognizing that you're capable of far more than you thought, that's been deeply meaningful to me.
Rolling me down the highway, moving ahead so life won't pass me by.
And then, of course, there's the driving. The way these cars move and sound and communicate with you. It requires immense concentration, but somehow also feels meditative. It's a magical thing, and furthered by knowing that my own two hands played a role in making the car feel as good as it does.
And I'm gonna go there free. Like a fool I am and I'll always be. I've got a dream, I've got a dream. They can change their minds, but they can't.
What continues to surprise me most, though, is how many of you feel it too. It's such an honor to share this with the world, to have people connect with these moments and these drives and these projects. Knowing that something so personal to me can resonate with others is humbling beyond words. So thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for reaching out. And thank you for caring. I don't take a second of it for granted, and I can't wait for what's to come next year.
Bye.